Are Tampa home prices finally cooling off, or is the market still red hot? Today's July 2025 Tampa real estate market update will give you the scoop on home prices, inventory, interest rates, and what's happening in popular neighborhoods across the Tampa area. Before we jump in, make sure to subscribe and hit the like button for more updates on Tampa real estate. Feel free to call me or visit my website for any personal real estate questions. I'm here to help. Now, let's dive into the Tampa housing market. As of July 2025, the Tampa housing market is much more balanced than the frenzy we saw a couple of years ago. Here's a quick snapshot of current conditions. The median home price in Tampa metro area is around $430,000, which is up 2.5% year over year, showing slight growth despite the cool down. Overall, prices are holding steady, cooling, but not crashing, as experts would say. Inventory and supply. Inventory has risen significantly in Tampa. We now have about 5.5 to 6 months inventory, which marks a neutral, balanced market after years of a seller's market. Buyers, of course, now have more options. Now as active listings hit the market and highest levels in years. Days on market. Homes are taking longer to sell on average. In Hillsborough County, which is the Tampa area, the average time to sell is about 50 days, up from about 40 days this time last year. The median days on market is roughly around 36 days versus 30 days last summer. And some reports state and sources state that it's 50 to 60 days as a common listing time in the broader Tampa market. In short, homes aren't flying off the shelf overnight anymore, and expect about a 1.5 to 2 months to sell the typical home in mid 2025. Mortgage interest rates. Mortgage rates are hovering around the mid 6% range for a 30-year fixed loan. Rates in the 6.25% to 6.75% zone have cooled buyer enthusiasm compared to the 3% rates of 2021. But the good news is they've stabilized and even ticked down slightly from late 2024. Many buyers have adjusted to these 6% rates, and some lenders, especially some home builders, lenders are now offering rate buy downs or incentives to help. The takeaway, the Tampa real estate market in July 2025 is much more normal, quote unquote, than the craziness of 2021, 2022. Prices are leveling out, inventory is up, and buyers finally have some breathing room. It's a healthy cooling, I think, not a crash, creating fairer conditions for both buyers and sellers. Neighborhood highlights, Tampa area trends in July. So let's zero in on a few key Tampa neighborhoods and suburbs and see how each area is performing or did this past month. These local trends show that while the whole market is balancing, each neighborhood has its own story. Brandon, not far from Tampa, it's a popular suburb east of Tampa. The median home price in Brandon is around $375,000, which is virtually unchanged from last year. Homes in Brandon now average about 6 to 7 weeks on the market, a bit longer than in 2024. The market here is calming, it's calmer, few bidding wars, but priced right, homes still sell in Brandon under 2 months. Then there's Wesley Chapel, a booming area in Pasco County. Median prices are around $430,000, which is roughly up 1% year over year. Wesley Chapel has ample inventory. There are currently around 900 homes available for sale as new construction surged. It's still considered a seller's market due to continued buyer demand, but homes are taking a lot longer to sell, about 60 plus days on average. Listing age up is about 69% versus last year. Builders are extremely active here in Wesley Chapel, even offering incentives like closing cost help and rate buy downs to attract buyers in 2025. And then there's Riverview, a fast-growing community just south of Brandon. The median price in Riverview is around $385,000, a slight 2 to 3% dip from last year. After years of rapid price gains, Riverview is seeing a minor correction, which isn't surprising given how many homes have grown and have been built there recently. Homes are spending longer on the market, but buyers are actively shopping thanks to new developments and relatively affordable prices. Then there's Lutz, which is a suburban area, north of Tampa, known for its larger homes and lots. The median price is around the 600,000 mark, which last year was around 620,000, which means it's down about 5% from last year. Despite that price dip, Lutz's market is still very competitive. Homes here are selling faster than almost anywhere else. And an average home will sit about 16 days on the market. That's all in recent data provided, down from 31 days last year. High demand for Lutz has a lot to do with the top rated schools and limited supply, meaning well-priced listings can still see multiple offers and go under contract in a couple of weeks. South Tampa, the high demand neighborhoods south of downtown, which would include Palmacia, Hyde Park, etc., the median sale price is around $700,000, which is up about 2.3% from last year. South Tampa still remains one of the priciest areas in Hillsborough County and but the dynamic has shifted to a more neutral market. There are currently over 1,100 homes for sale in South Tampa. The inventory is up, and about 70% of recent sales have been below the asking price. Even this trendy area isn't immune to the market's normalization. Buyers are negotiating more, and sellers can't overprice as they once did in 2022. Still, desirable South Tampa homes, especially updated ones in great condition, do sell, often within a month. But sellers must be realistic and expect some back and forth negotiation, that's for sure. As you can see, no area is seeing runaway price growth. Most Tampa neighborhoods are experiencing flat or modest single-digit changes up or down, which is a sign of a stabilized market. July 2025 in Tampa Bay is all about equilibrium. Buyers have more choices and sellers face more competition. Next, let's talk about how buyers and sellers are behaving in this new landscape. With the market cooling to neutral, buyer and seller behavior in Tampa has shifted noticeably this summer. Here are some trends we're seeing in July. The buyer behavior, buyers are able to negotiate power again. They have more leverage and choices. With inventory up, you won't be rushing to outbid 20 other offers on day one. In fact, about 59% of homes now sell below the asking price in the area, a big reversal from the bidding wars that existed a couple of years ago. You can take your time, compare options, and negotiate on price or repairs. Price reductions are extremely common now. Roughly 1 in 3 listings has a price cut in this market. But you've still got to act fast on the good ones. While there's less frenzy, nice homes in prime locations or that are priced correctly can still sell extremely quickly. Over half of all homes are still selling within 30 days. That's over half. If a home checked all of your boxes, be ready to move. Smart buyers get pre-approved and jump on well-priced new listings because those can attract multiple offer scenarios even now in 2025. So an example of that would be a well-priced house in Lutz or South Tampa. They can still go under contract in a couple of weeks. Buyer caution and strategy. Today's buyers are a bit more selective and budget conscious. With higher interest rates and economic news, people are being, guess what, way more careful. First-time home buyers are taking advantage of the increased inventory, but everybody is mindful of value. We see more buyers targeting homes that have sat on the market for more than 30 days, a sign that there may be some room for them to negotiate with a seller. Home inspections and contingencies are back. Buyers aren't waiving every contingency like they did in the red hot market a couple of years ago, and many buyers do plan to refinance later if the rates drop. So they're negotiating harder now on price, which brings me to seller behavior. Pricing is key. For sellers, the days of naming your price and getting 10 offers are over. Tampa home sellers in July must absolutely price their home realistically from the start. Overpricing will most likely backfire. Nearly half of listings now incur at least one price reduction before selling. The good news, though, is if you price at market value, you can still sell relatively quickly and smoothly. Longer time frames. Expect your home to take several weeks or even maybe a couple of months to sell. In this balanced market, patience is important. Don't be discouraged if it doesn't sell in the first weekend. Average listing times are around 6 to 8 weeks now, so plan accordingly. Keep your home show ready and be proactive with marketing during this period of time. Negotiation and concessions. Since buyers now have options, Tampa sellers are more frequently offering different concessions. It's becoming normal to see offers that ask for closing cost credits, perhaps repair credits, or even mortgage rate buy downs to help the buyer afford the home. Also, be prepared for offers coming in a few percent below your asking price. The average sale to list ratio is about 96 to 97% now. Flexibility can make the difference in getting a deal done. And stand out with quality. To attract offers in this market, Tampa sellers are focusing on presentation, investing in small upgrades, staging great photos, and curb appeal can definitely and will pay off. Buyers in 2025 are being picky. They'll jump on the homes that look move-in ready and are well marketed. If your home does need a little TLC, considering offering a home warranty or other incentives to sweeten the deal. Overall, the Tampa Bay market has shifted to a new normal. Buyers and sellers are on a more even keel playing field. It's no longer a runaway seller's market, it's balanced. This balance means buyers can negotiate and sellers must strategize. But homes are still changing hands and people are moving. In fact, experts note that this normalization is healthy in the long run. And I've said that for ages. It creates a fairer market for everyone. Predictions and outlook for the rest of 2025. So, what's next for Tampa real estate? Based on current trends and expert forecasts, here's what we can expect moving forward. There'll be continued stability. Home prices in Tampa Bay will likely stay around current levels through the end of 2025. The median price, 410 to 430K range, has been holding steady for nearly 2 years now, and analysts forecast minimal changes. Don't expect a big spike or a big drop. There's slow, sustainable growth, or call it stability, if you will. This is our theme. As one local expert put it, Tampa prices are rebalancing and appreciation will be much more modest going forward. There'll be a little bit of seasonal cooling in the fall. We're at the summer peak season right now, and as usual, the market may cool off slightly in the fall, which is our September through November, after the school year starts. This is a very normal seasonal pattern. Fewer buyers tend to be shopping in the holiday months. However, any dip in activity is expected to be routine, not a crash. So here's the translation. If you're a buyer, you might find slightly less competition in the fall. If you're a seller, try to list before the end of summer for the best odds, or be ready for a bit more patience later in the year. If inflation improves, we could see a further dip in mortgage rates later in 2025, which would, guess what, boost buyer demand. In fact, some experts predict that if 30-year rates fall back towards the low 5% range in the future, a new wave of buyers will jump in. For now, plan on rates being around 6% and budget accordingly. Any drop in rates should be seen as a bonus, but it's not guaranteed. There's a strong underlying demand here in Tampa. It continues to be a very popular place to live. That hasn't changed. We still have people moving here for the jobs, sunshine, and definite tax advantages. Population and job growth in the Tampa Bay area are expected to keep demand strong. That's one reason why experts aren't forecasting any major price crash. There's a lot of fundamental demand providing a floor under prices. So long as Tampa is a desirable city, housing need will persist. Then there's new construction and development. Builders are active around Tampa, especially in suburbs like Wesley Chapel. New home inventory is helping ease the shortage and give buyers more choices. Builders have caught up from the pandemic delays. No more lotteries for lots, though build times are still a bit longer than pre-2020 due to labor shortages. Going forward, expect more launching of new communities, which will add inventory, of course. Builders will likely continue offering perks like paying points to lower buyer's rate on a mortgage. They'll be throwing in free upgrades, possibly, to stay competitive. This is great for buyers seeking new homes. Sellers of older homes will need to consider these brand new homes as competition and price accordingly. In summary, the Tampa real estate outlook for late 2025 is steady as she goes. The market has normalized from the extremes, and that stability actually puts Tampa in a very healthy spot. As you can imagine, makes sense, right? No one is predicting a meltdown. Rather, we'll likely see flat to modest growth and a continued balanced market where neither side has an upper hand. For both buyers and sellers, strategy and timing will be key. The market will reward those who stay informed and realistic. And so, here are my final thoughts. The July 2025 Tampa housing market has given us all a lot to talk about. A balanced market with stable prices, longer selling times, and way more inventory than we've seen in years. It's a far cry from the feeding frenzy of 2021, but it's ultimately a positive shift. Buyers have a better chance to find a home without breaking the bank, and sellers who adapt to the new normal can still achieve great results. Now, I want to hear from you. If you found this update helpful, hit that like and subscribe button for more Tampa real estate insights. If you're thinking of buying or selling a home in the Tampa area, don't navigate this market alone. Reach out to me today. I'm always here to help. I'm a local Tampa real estate expert, and I'd love to help you make your next move with confidence. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll look forward to hearing back from you soon.